What is up, everyone? Welcome to another question and answer stream before another Grand Prix. It feels like it's been a while. Like, I was kind of forgetting how to do this. I already have forgotten to actually start streaming it to Twitter, so there we go. Sorry about that, Twitter. But yeah, we are back. It is Grand Prix race week. I am very, very excited. Should this man on the screen be coming into our thoughts? Let's make a poll, shall we? If it rains, is Max worth a punt? Let's see what you guys say over the course of the episode. But yeah, what is up, everyone? I saw some people in the chat already, so I'm going to get to them right now. But yeah, if you are watching, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. As you can see, countdown to 3,000 subscribers is well and truly on. We are 87 subs away. That would be insane. If we hit that before the Miami Grand Prix, I said 2,800 before the Miami Grand Prix would be amazing. And we're getting pretty close to 3K before that race. So thank you once again for every like and comment. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Tonight we're going to go over some team selection thoughts, limitless thoughts. We're going to look at some budget builders, all that fun stuff. So thank you for spending your Wednesday evening with me. It is beautiful here in Germany right now. I wore shorts to work today. It is fantastic. It is springtime. It is ready. So Zach is here first in the chat. Piastri doing Ocon, Behrman, Hadjar. I'm thinking, let me extend this. I'm thinking swapping Alonso and Lawson for Ocon and doing your thoughts or any other moves. You're going to bring in Alonso and Lawson for Ocon and doing. I don't mind that at all. That is nice. And thanks to Pat, he has kind of moved up in the world a little bit here, Pat. So we're going to go and check out. So doing here, he needs 15 points for a great price rise. This is the fantastic website that Pat has created over here, f1insights.notion.site. Just banging in all the info here. So great job by Pat, as per usual. Hopefully you are watching. I saw you just comment in the F1 Fantasy Tools Discord where we talk about the good process, bad results that has starting to become a little bit of a catchphrase on the YouTube channel. So I appreciate your support as always, Pat, and thank you for putting out these spectacular graphics. So doing here needs 15 points for a great race in Miami, or for a great price rise. If he gets the 15 points, he needs 5 points in Imola and then 3 points in Monaco. I don't think he's going to get there. So as you can see here, we're going to be looking at these pages a lot. I'll let you know because it actually doesn't have the driver on here. But I like those moves, Zach. Pits. Nixie, what is up? I will probably limitless this week with a team of Piastri, Ocon, Behrman, Hadjar, Bortoleto, McLaren. Thoughts? I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see, Piastri, so we can go here. I have these in alphabetical order. So Ocon needs 12 points for a great race, great price increase, and then he'll need 17, which is going to get a little bit tougher, obviously, in, what are we talking about? Imola and Monaco there. So he'll need a pretty good weekend, but Ocon, last time out in a sprint, got 24 points in China. So maybe there's still hope, Nixie, but I like that. Do you think it will be any rain this weekend? Let's check it out, because as of right now, Sunday at 2 p.m., there is a 40% chance of rain in Miami. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this very closely over the next 48 hours. It should still be light rain, but does that mean that it's Max Verstappen time? Can we get him into our squads without blowing everything up? Let's see here. What else is everyone up to? Did you see the rumors of Franco getting a drive in Imola? His sponsor kind of leaked it off air, but it was streamed on the news. Harsh on my boy Jack, if true. Is it harsh? Because, I mean, we're coming at it from a different angle here, obviously, F1 Fantasy. But Dua needed 6 points for a max price rise, and Bahrain didn't get it. Needed 3 points for to not fall in Saudi Arabia, didn't get it, or not to fall the max price. So I can't say, like, Gasly looked absolutely rapid in Saudi Arabia, and he got in the crash, turn 1, lap 1, whatever, with Tsunoda. I don't know. Like, I wish Gasly was able to finish that race, because then we'd really be able to be like, Jack had a bad race. Because maybe that Alpine was going to fall through the rest of the field, and we just wouldn't know it because Gasly went out. But I don't think so. So, yeah, I think it would be harsh, but I know the race.com was reporting that Jack is supposed to be safe till summer, but I still think there's enough gaps in the season here. Like, there's a 2-week gap between Miami and Italy. Now, if they do get rid of Jack and bring in Frank Colapinto, I mean, it's pretty much like quintessential Alpine here that they had a whole 2 weeks to bring in Colapinto before the first race in Miami, one of the closest races to South America. Like, they could have built up the hype for Colapinto, but Alpine is going to do Alpine things. But I don't know if it's harsh. It would be slightly unfair, but I don't think Doohan has done anything to really deserve to keep the seat, if that makes sense. Macatech says, what's up, y'all? Too soon to be looking at weather, but something to keep in mind. Podium prediction for the weekend. Norris, Piastri, Leclerc. Christoph says, greetings from Calgary. Piastri, Norris, Verstappen. Norris, Piastri, Christoph. Not a Red Bull suited track. Yeah, I've heard that quite a lot in some of the previews I've been reading, the podcasts I've been listening to and stuff. So, yeah, Red Bull probably not in my thoughts, but Max going to do Max things if it gets a little bit wet. Is Limitless still a good option if it rains? If it's not going to rain that much, Sensen, I don't mind it, but rain obviously increases the chances that any driver can DNF, so that is a little bit concerning there. Mindalga says, hello, Ewan. I want to ask what you recommend, Doohan / Behrman or Alonso / Lawson. I want to play Limitless in Imola. Thank you. I'm not feeling Doohan right now. If he gets, like, I don't think he's going to hit 11 points is the max he scored this season, and that was in a sprint in China. So let's just say, for argument's sake, he scores that. Is he going to score 3 points at a low overtake track in Imola in round 7 here? I don't think so, because we just did this whole thing with him and he scored 2 points in Bahrain, which was quite a good overtake track, and 1 point in Jeddah, which was a low overtake. He didn't have 6 in Japan, but yeah, it just doesn't feel great. If Mark looks better, would it be worth it to keep them and invest in other and better B-tier drivers and stay open for next race? I believe you played your Limitless already, so you don't have to worry about that too much. But yeah, if Mercedes still looks good and Ferrari isn't making the progress that I'm hoping that they're going to make, there's nothing wrong with sticking with Mercedes for one more race. They're probably going to go up, as you can see here on the budget builder. Like negative 18 is what they need to score to get a max price rise. So not too bothered about at all. Macatech says, my T2 team is bound for Limitless, but T1 on the other hand needs some nurturing. Yes, I agree, Mac. I'm kind of in that same boat with you, actually. Obi says, early thoughts, McLaren plus Ferrari, Piastri ×2, Behrman, Hadjar, Alonso, Bortoleto. I'd be using both my transfers to get rid of Gasly and Mercedes. Had to skip the Limitless after bringing him in last week. I am pretty much moving towards that exact build there, Obi, so I agree with you. Nice moves. Christy says, rain is showing as moderate around 4 to 5. Okay, good to know. Yeah, we're just going to keep an eye on it. By the time we get to the sprint qualifying, will be 48 hours out-ish. So that'll be a little bit better than, or we'll have a closer forecast. Max is like Lando, too expensive when Oscar McLaren plus would probably score more. Yeah, fair enough. Pretty good differential, though. I mean, what is his percentage picked right now? Max is sitting 17%. Above Charles, above George, above Lewis. But yeah, he's in the bottom 8 here. So yeah, not too bad at all. And here's my T1 squad. So I will remember where I'm at in the chat. I'm just going to talk a little bit about this. So here's the T1 squad. I've got 3 free transfers, double Alpine, which is a menace in itself. But we've got Piastri, Berriman, Hadjar. They are all looking very likely to rise, as we can go back here to the budget builder. Piastri needs 3 points. Berriman needs 4 points. Hadjar needs 8 points. So right now, I have 3 free transfers. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use them. However, there is another option where I just do 2 options, roll another transfer if I'm not really feeling it. If for some reason I start to waver on using Limitless in Imola, so this is what Nixie actually asked here. Have you decided to Limitless in Imola, Ewan? I have. As long as everything goes according to plan in Miami, which is also kind of scary. But that's where I need to kind of cross my fingers and hope it all goes well. So if I use 2 free transfers, my moves will just be bring in Ocon and then bring in Bortoleto. As we can see here, Ocon needs 12 points for a great price rise. He scored, as we saw earlier, 24 points in China. Supposed to be a pretty good overtake track. Should be okay. Haas are qualifying low, but rising through the field, which is pretty much like F1 fantasy gold. That's why I'm repping them tonight. And yeah, so that's a okay move. Those are kind of the 2 moves. It's kind of boring, blah, blah, blah. The more exciting moves for me would be to take out Mercedes, Ocon, or Mercedes, Gasly, and Doohan, and pop in Ferrari here, along with Gabriel Bortoleto, and then it comes down to Liam Lawson versus Fernando Alonso. I have 6.7 million left in my budget. I've pretty much been talking about this for a week and a half straight already, and it's still quite tough. So we go back to the budget builder here. Lawson needs 2 points for a good price rise, 8 points for a great price rise. Alonso needs 5 points for a good price rise, 11 points for a great price rise. However, if we go here, Alonso, if he hits that great price rise in Miami, 7 points in Imola, but 1 point for a good price rise in Imola. I'm pretty sure Fernando Alonso can get 1 point in Imola to get that good price rise and make him an okay asset on my Limitless team in Imola in a couple of weeks. If we look at Lawson here, 8 points for a great price rise, but 13 points for another good price rise, or 7 points for another good price rise in Imola. And that's because if we look over here, Lawson, his 11 points from Bahrain are going to drop off this week. So then that kind of alters his rolling average. Now, Lawson could have a stellar weekend and blow this 8 points out the water and all of these go down. However, it just feels like Alonso, it's like, do I chance it this week with Alonso to get a good price rise or a great price rise and then kind of just bank on him having a good price rise in Imola as well? Or do I go with Lawson, who I think can score more points this week, but if he only gets 8, then I need him to score 7 points at a really low overtake track at Imola. That's where I'm kind of wavering between Alonso versus Lawson right now. If you guys are kind of like getting my thinking, like where I'm going here. So I'm going to end this max poll here. Let's see. I got a end poll. So if it rains, is Max worth a punt? 56% of you guys said yes. But the next poll is going to be better 2-week outlook. Alonso, Lawson. Let's see what y'all are thinking about when it comes to these 2 drivers, because I'm kind of tossing and turning in the middle of the night thinking about this stuff. So it really is. This is going to be my biggest decision for the week. If I go with the 3 free transfers, And the reason that I want to do the 3 free transfers, which I think I talked about on the transfer targets episode that I did, which you guys can go check out. I did team selection, did transfer targets. I did a 2-part interview with Luke, who's a new F1 Fantasy content creator, so go check that out. And I was also on Rob's F1 Fantasy channel on Sunday. We had a nice old chit chat about F1. It was great to be on there. But yeah, so that's me kind of like waffled on my team selection a little bit there. That's the T1 team. The T2 squad here: Piastri, Bortoleto, Hadjar, Ocon, Behrman, McLaren, Mercedes. Seems perfectly fine. I'm probably just going to limitless this squad here. And then T3 here: Piastri, Russell, Behrman, Gasly, Hadjar, McLaren, Alpine. I'll get into that in a little bit, but I want to answer more of y'all's questions. So let's get back into it here. Where did you guys go? Okay. Mason says, I want to use Limitless in Imola. Currently have Mercedes, McLaren, Doohan, Gasly, Behrman, Piastri, and Hadjar with 0.2 spare budget and 3 transfers. Who should I go for? Mason, I'm pretty sure I just went over that. That wasn't you asked that question before I just went into my whole team selection spiel. Hopefully that helped, because that's pretty much what I'm thinking of doing. I'm in the exact same spot as you as well. Sammy says, rookies need at least half or full seasons to show their worth. Surely that's just my personal opinion. Otherwise, it's kind of a career ruined. I agree, but it just seems like Alpine is looking to be sold almost. And they do have that Mercedes engine coming in, so I don't know if they want to set up their squad for 2026 a little bit better. Mac Attack says, how much do we have to take FP1 results with a grain of salt, because teams will improve setup going into Park Fermi and beyond after the sprint? Yeah, it's going to be tough. However, we will get the sprint qualifying results, and I will be live. I'll be doing this right now, right here, right now, in 2 days. I'll be going over FP1 results, and then we'll be doing a sprint quali watch along. And then right after sprint qualifying, I'll kind of go into like a final thoughts episode-ish kind of thing with just my team selection. You guys can ask some questions in the chat and stuff like that. We'll go into it, and that will kind of be my deadline stream, because I'm actually flying to the States on Saturday at the deadline. So that is very nerve-wracking. So I will be making my moves pretty early on Saturday morning for Central European time. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. So that'll be like kind of my deadline stream for the weekend. So hopefully you guys can join me on Friday. Staying with Mercedes, says El Pepe. Probably not. I'm thinking about Ferrari or Mercedes on Limitless. I'm kind of leaning towards Ferrari. Lawson is good this week, but not long-term. Yeah. Sainz could be a good option for Imola, like the meta move that week, which you won't be able to reach. Yep, exactly. I'll be on Limitless, but hopefully coming out the other side, I'll be able to make some moves to get close to Sainz. Because as we can see here, when we go budget building, Sainz, he has a -9 there, but he has a 12 in Saudi. So once that -9 drops off from Bahrain, Sainz should be in a good spot to rise in Imola and Monaco. And you know what? Sainz is the one driver that I didn't pull up the thing for. So let's go there and do that as my cat meows in the background. He's not very happy with me. Okay, here's Sainz. So 16 points. Let's say he has a terrible price rise. He's going to fall 0.6 again. If he scores 15 points, he'll need 8 points for a great price rise in Imola, and then 14 points for a great price rise in Monaco. And it's tough to go too much further down here, but Sainz will be a good option in a couple of weeks. Nixie says, I beat you on the quiz on Rob. Happy with that. Yeah, man. I was 3 for 5. I think I nearly had the Limitless versus the wild card one, but yeah, the other one I was lost on. Yolita says, I will most probably be running the same team as you, but definitely with Alonso. Formula Fantasy Hub, what is up, Rob? In the chat says, thanks for coming on, mate. It was great chat indeed. I'm definitely using my Limitless ship in Miami, says Chris D. Concerned how the Flexi Wing changes will shake up the pack going forward. So that is in Spain. So right now we've got Miami, Italy, Monaco, and then Spain is the first race in or end of May, early June. And also, if you guys haven't signed up yet, if you use promo code UN50 on F1FantasyTools.com tomorrow, or even if you start doing it on Friday, you'll get the next 4 Grand Prix over the next month for that first month. So you get 50% off 4 Grand Prix to try out all of F1 Fantasy Tools' excellent display of functions and whatever. 65 people watching, but 11 likes. I always try to shoot for 50% likes during the live stream. So if you guys can help me out and hit that thumbs up button, that is always greatly appreciated. So many decisions, our 50p man says, so many of my decisions are going to be based off of sprint quality, which scares me. Either going to Limitless this week or get in Ferrari and Alonso to Limitless in Imola. Like that. Yep, I'm going along very similar lines there, 50p man, so don't mind that. Cash Confidence says flex, world rank 8280. That is a fantastic rank to start the season. Well done, Cash Confidence. Ferrari or Mercedes for points? I'd say Ferrari for points, because as we can go down here, let's go to constructors. Ferrari's starting to stretch their legs a little bit. 73 points in Bahrain, 64 points in Saudi Arabia, and as has been shown from an excellent graphic from FanAmp Fantasy HQ, but I actually don't have that up right now. You know what? I can go find it. Give me 1 second, because I tweeted it out, and we will go over that here. Where did it go? Here we go. Found it. Let's bring it on over here. Adam, FanAmp Fantasy HQ. I'm sure a lot of you know him. Fantastic F1 Fantasy content creator. How good have Ferrari's pit stops been this year? One, they won all 5 DHL Fastest Pit Stop Awards this season, but F1 Fantasy vacated the bonus in China after multiple drivers were disqualified. They're the only constructor to record multiple pit stops between 2.0 and 2.2 seconds. They've scored 30 more points than Mercedes in pit stop alone this season. I like Ferrari over Mercedes this weekend for both Limitless and Meta lineups. And I gotta agree with Adam here at FanAmp Fantasy HQ if you're looking for more F1 Fantasy resources to follow on the old Bird app over there. So yeah, definitely check that out. As you can see here, excellent graphic. This is all the points or times that each constructor has gone into that kind of thing. And you can see here, Red Bull 1-2-1-1. They're kind of not as good as they used to be. So Ferrari, the fact that Ferrari is operationally sound and they've somehow jacked up the car is about as Ferrari as it gets. But here we are. This is the world we live in now. Zach Pitt says, I had first question of the chat. I have 111 million Piastri, Berman, Alonso, and Doohan. Yes. I think I answered it. Sorry, Zach, but I'll answer it again here. Berman, Ocon, Hadjar, Doohan, Ferrari. Want to go Lawson, Alonso for Doohan, Ocon. Yes, I like that a lot. Macatek says, please show Meow Machine. Meow Machine left, but they'll be back because they always come back. Oscar always comes back. Just wanted to say hi, champ. Thinking of going Limitless in Miami, Yamil. Thank you. Appreciate that. Coming in to say hi. And yeah, it would depend on your squad. Oh yeah, Haste says, hell yeah. Zakacha says, I'm so annoyed I kept doing, but can use my 3 transfers to go from Gasly, Doohan, Mercedes to Lawson/Alonso, Bortoletto, Ferrari. Yep. That is great. Where can I see Fantasy World Rank? Let me show you, Mac Attack. So if you go here, you're on your homepage over here, blah, 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 blah. You go to Leagues. This will be slightly embarrassing, but it's okay. I've got it on screen there. Starter Leagues, Public Leagues, Starter Leagues, and then here we go. Global League right here. So as you can see here, it's not been the hottest start in the world for F1 Fantasy pole position this year, but that's okay. So that is how you can see your world rank. Does anyone know if Ferrari Mercedes has done better in Imola in the past? I feel, well, since the new regs, I'm pretty sure it's been Ferrari, but they've only been here twice. Yeah, but I can't remember. Let's see here. Ferrari may also be a good pick for Imola for price rise if Limitless. I mean, all constructors are going to be pretty good for price rises. It's really hard for these guys to go down. Like, as you can see here, Ferrari needs -62 to go down here. Like, even if they both get DSQ'd again, they'll probably still rise 0.3. That's how good it's been. Ferrari recently, Merc in the past. Yeah, especially in the new regs. Would you 2x Lando on Limitless? So I was actually going to get into this a tiny bit, but I really don't mind the kind of taking a little bit of a differential punt on your 2x if you're using Limitless, because it's a chance to get a little bit different. I wouldn't go crazy. Like, I'm not going to 2x Russell or Leclerc on my Limitless, but like Max, Oscar, Lando, those are all viable options here. I do think Red Bull are going to struggle here, so I probably wouldn't go Verstappen, but I was listening to the Race.com's podcast today. They did an interview with Lando Norris, Will Joseph, Zach Brown. It sounds like the break has done Lando pretty good. He seems pretty focused. He seems pretty assured of his process, like how he thinks, how he acts. He's like, the goal is every weekend to win the race. It's not about the world championship right now. It's about doing the best that we can do every weekend, every session, blah, blah, blah. He's saying all the right things. Gives me a little bit of confidence if you're on Limitless to 2x Lando. And as you can see here, he's been really close to Piastri. We know Piastri has like taken the lead in the world championship, but 59-10, 41-45, 27-24, 32-45, which was with a fastest lap as well. And then 36-38. It's really, really tight at the top there. So I wouldn't mind going Lando at all. And this is where he won his first race last season. So good vibes in Miami for Lando. C-Mail says, sorry if someone asked before, but is the rain predicted in Miami? I already submitted my Limitless, but maybe it was a mistake. It sounds like it's going to be very, very light rain, C-Mail. So I wouldn't be too worried. What would be your ideal team with McLaren and Ferrari? It would be McLaren, Ferrari. It would be this here, El Pepe. It would be, where are we at? Where'd you go? I think it's going to be Bortoleto, Alonso, and then Ferrari for me. As of right now, as of 9 p.m. Germany time on Wednesday, April 30th, this is where I'm leaning for my team right now. Thoughts on the darkish pink V-carb livery? So I heard about this, but I haven't actually seen it yet. Does it look good? I want to check it out here. We'll do a little live look. That's not the right list, Ewan, on X. Sorry. Oh, did anyone else see that Mexico City is going to be extended to 2028? That's kind of cool. Guess that means Checo's signing with Cadillac this weekend. Apparently Cadillac is doing some sort of launch in Miami this weekend. So yeah, sounds like Checo will be in Cadillac next year. Maybe that makes me cynical, but oh well. Yeah, Visa Cash App says on Wednesdays we wear pink. Mean Girls reference? God, going right after my heart. I love that. Let's see here. Let's bring this over. We can go check out this little livery together. Shout out to F1 Big Data, I guess. Who's tweeting this? It's certainly going to be bright. You won't be able to miss it. I don't love it, but it's okay. It gets the job done. It's definitely not as good as the Red Bull Japan one. All right, Minion Golf says, let's see here, 72 people watching, 29 likes. We are almost to that 50%, guys, so I really appreciate it. Also, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel, as you can see above, the countdown to 3,000 subscribers is well and truly on. We're at 2913, 87 more subscribers to go, and then the channel is at 3,000, which is honestly absurd. And thank you very much. Minion Golf says, ran Alpine as a constructor for Jeddah. Thoughts on eating the likely 0.2 instead of 0.6 and running Limitless in Miami? Minion Golf, if you can let me know the rest of your squad, let's check it out and build that team together. If we go over here, I have my T3 squad here, which is a bit of a state, if you ask me. So I got Piastri, Russell, Behrman, Gasly, Hadjar. It's not looking great, Bob, because I need 3 free transfers to really fix this mess, but that's probably not going to work. So I'm going to need to probably bring in, I don't even know if I'll be able to afford Haas. If I bring in Haas, who can I afford? 7 million. So maybe what I do is I go Haas and Lawson over here on the T3 squad, and then I go with Ferrari, Bortoleto, Alonso on the T1 squad, and that give me a little compare and contrast. But I don't love eating that, especially when there are so many constructors that can rise the 0.6. It's possible the Alpine could also rise 0.6. Like, it's not all doom and gloom. Like, they have a far better shot of rising 0.6 than Doohan or Gasly. So I don't really mind it. Manasavi says, one of my teams has Piastri, Russell, Hadjar, Bortoleto, Ocon with McLaren V-Carb. Should I go limitless or wildcard? Budget of 106. You definitely don't need to wildcard that team. Manasvi. There we go. Limitless isn't bad either. Let me see. Piastri will rise. Russell will rise. Hadjar will rise. Bortoleto should stay. Ocon should rise. You could limitless this week and then wild card out of it, and you should have maybe close to like 108.5, maybe 109 million after all of that goes according to plan. So let's see, 0.6, 0.6, 0.6, 0.6, that's 2.4. So yeah, you'll be anywhere from like 2.5 to 3 million. So I like it. I would maybe limitless this week and wild card right out of the limitless to set yourself up. Zakacha says, no negative for Miami for potential rain. Might be nice to use on a sprint weekend. Unable to limitless because of Alpine disaster. Let's see. I don't know. I'm just going to pay attention to it until Friday and the deadline stream. And then on Saturday morning, when I'm chilling in the airport, I will check the weather and stuff like that. So when it comes to Saturday morning, sorry to go into like more like planning schedule stuff, I don't really know if the plane has Wi-Fi or not. If it does, I'll probably try to tweet during the deadline and stuff like that. So I won't be able to watch anything or stream anything, obviously, this far up in the air, blah, 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 blah. But I'm hoping that I can at least maybe tweet a little bit. But if not, I'll probably shoot off my lineup before we take off and stuff like that. Buzz Hidar says, great job with the channel this year. You love the grind and you give very helpful tips. Thank you very much. I hope you are enjoying the channel. It sounds like you are, and I appreciate all the support. 50p Man says, yo, my T2 team is 24 in the world without Limitless or 3X. Not bad. Love that, 50p Man. That is great. Currently top 57k in the world, 995 points, 109 budget, no chip shoots yet. That's crushing it. El Pepe says 253 in the world. We had, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting now. It was in the Saudi Arabia cooldown room. We had, I think we had the number 3 person in the world here. Yeah, Marion. They were on the chat, just popping in. So like, great job by them. They are crushing it right now. So thank you, Marion. If you're around, drop a comment. What are your lineup thoughts for Miami? Because I guess we should all be learning from you as you are 3rd in the world. So great job. Keep crushing it. Let's see here. Buzz Hidar says, what do you think about going limitless, having 111 million budget and using this team on the background? Piastri, Behrman, Ocon, Hadjar, Bortoleto. That's perfect. Crushing it, Mr. Kuzmanov. Love it. Sammy says, if Cadillac don't sign Bottas, I'll riot. I don't know. So the comments from Fernando Alonso that came out today or yesterday are kind of intriguing if you're like a Yuki Tsunoda fan, because like Honda going to Aston Martin next year. Do you think Tsunoda would sit for a year in order to take over the Aston Martin seat in 2027? Let's do one more poll. 68% of you said that Alonso will have a better 2-week outlook. So thank you for voting in that. Let's see here. One more poll. Would you I just saw someone in the chat Sorry, Ewan, I gotta go. Barca is losing and they need my support. The game started 4 minutes ago. Barcelona is already losing? That's probably not good for my fantasy UCL team, because I'm pretty sure I have a bunch of players. Wow, they are already losing 1-0. Wow, you hate to see it. Not that I'm really a Barca fan. I'm a Liverpool fan, so up the Reds, number 20, back on our perch. Minion Golf. I had Piastri, Russell, Behrman, Bortoleto, Hadjar, no Gasly, luckily. I'm the guy who had Alpine a few comments back, by the way. Yes. Okay. Piastri, Russell, Behrman, no Gasly, lucky. Nice. Yeah, I don't mind it. I think Alpine might rise still. It could still be a good weekend. Gasly could score 14 points by himself, so maybe you don't have to hit the limitless. Paper Crane says, I'm on triple Haas, McLaren, Piastri, Russell, Hadjar. I should be going limitless, right? Yes, that is beautiful. Hagar says, hi, you missed live notification late to Sesson. Gasly affected by others, though, on it. Yep. Gasly's affecting quite a few people here. Yumil says, my squad is McLaren, Mercedes, Piastri, Hadjar, Ocon, Behrman, Bortoleto. Feels like a limitlessable team. Thoughts? I think it is a limitlessable team. Exactly. Yes. Great call, Yamil. Alex says, hi, Ocon / Bortoleto or Liam / Alonso for limitless in Imola. That is tough, because I think Ocon can score probably more than 12 points. So if he scores like 16 points, that's going to be like 5. I might back him. And then Bortoleto can't fall. So you could be looking at a 0.8 rise there. But then Lawson and Alonso could rise this week, 1.2. Maybe I'd go Liam and Alonso there, Alec. Yeah. Is there anything that will make you full send the limitless chip this week, or is the double Alpine too much to tank? On my T1 team, there is absolutely nothing that will pop up. Brave last words, or whatever the saying is. Famous last words. But I don't think there's anything that will make me kind of hit the limitless chip for my T1 squad this week. Inter leading already. Barca are Inter now. I think I had Barcelona in my pick'em. So, yeah. That's 20K in the world. Christoph says, 20K in the world, no chips used, 112 million budget. You guys are crushing it. Anvit says, rate my team. Anvit, if you put your team in there, I will rate it. What chips has Miran used out of curiosity? I'm 13K world rank on 106 or 1,065 points, but haven't used any chip. Just curious if I can catch up with Limitless in Miami. Probably. I think I did see that Marion, they used Limitless in Saudi and crushed it. Had the perfect team. Actually, never mind. They had Mercedes. So they didn't have Ferrari, but they had the 5 perfect drivers. C-Mel says, love the channel, man. Watch all your videos. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. Nice says 90 or nice_91 says, hi, if you were to limitless, which 2x drivers, which 2 times drivers would you select? I think it'd have to be Norris or Piastri right now. It sounds like it's going to be hot. Sounds like that's going to suit McLaren. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to really go against either of those drivers. I might be tempted to go a little bit different with Norris, just to kind of have a little bit of a differential on Limitless, but I don't think you can go wrong. If many top drivers don't qualify well at all, would that change your mind? I don't think that's going to happen. If that happened, I don't know. Are we talking Lando and Max both go out in SQ1 kind of stuff? Then maybe, but outside of something crazy happening, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't have said nothing. But outside of something absurd happening, I don't think I'll be playing Limitless this week. Nice 91 said, Monaco could see lots of drivers losing value with Imola and Monaco in the average. Yes, great point. I did, I think that's a couple of episodes ago now. Maybe that was for the Saudi Arabia team selection or the Limitless guide. I can't remember, but it was this is our last big chance to maybe gain a lot of budget, because Imola is going to be low overtake track. Monaco is going to be a low overtake track. Spain isn't incredible. It's not bad. But yeah, like, we really want to take advantage of building budget right now and getting on the right drivers. So great point there. Double budget races in a row, 3.5 approximate 2 races, then Limitless in Monaco. Our final fix come in between. Thoughts on it? Yeah, I've heard some stuff about final fixing in Monaco. I set myself up for that last season. I think I brought in Charles. I left about 8 million, 12 million in the bank in case Verstappen put it on pole so I could final fix him, and it didn't end up being that. So I would just watch practices and set yourself up there. Carlos says, great content. You already used my Limitless and lost budget early in the season. Here are my thoughts for Miami to recover money. McLaren, Williams, Piastri, Hadjar, Bordello, Behrman. For my last, think Alonso, Albon, or Ocon. Thoughts? To recover budget, I would probably say Ocon, if that's the way we got to do it. LD says, we use in Limitless? Depends on your squad, because we want to be gaining budget during our Limitless. So we got about 20 minutes to go. And let's go check out some F1 Predict. And in the description below is the link to my F1 Predict League, which I haven't touted too much. And there's 115 members in this F1 Fantasy Pole Position League. So maybe we should get that number up a little bit. So hit the join code, just whatever. Because, guys, look who's number one. Maybe I'm not so good at this whole F1 fantasy thing, but here I am, number one in the league. Come take me down a peg here. Let's you can't be letting me win my own league here. But let's go see what the predictions are for this week real quick. Predict the podium for the 2025 Miami Grand Prix. I'm going to say Lando, and then I'm going to say Charles, and then Oscar. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. El Pepe says, did you make a video on when to use your chips? If so, what is the name of the video? So if you go to the main page on my channel, El Pepe, there's a playlist that's F1 Fantasy 2025 tips and strategy, but below that there's F1 Fantasy 2025 game guides, and that has like my Limitless guide, my chip strategy guide, all that stuff. I'm gonna update chip strategy at some point. I don't remember when it is on the schedule here. Let me see. It looks like my next chip strategy update isn't actually for a while because we got so much content coming up that it's kind of hard to keep track. I have it somewhere on there. Chip strategy update. So I think my next chip strategy update, unless there's other breaks and it just like feels right, will probably not be until before Spa. But yes, thank you. Sammy says, thoughts on the Madrid Grand Prix track? Looks interesting. I agree, it looks interesting. I'm not entirely sure why they put that video up, because it looked like the person that was driving it on whatever simulator had no idea what they were doing. It was awful. Leclerc is the most overrated driver. He is really good, but always people predict podium, and he doesn't have many. Damn, those are some scathing words from Stixolol. But we'll see. This is just a Wednesday night prediction. Like, it's going to be okay. Who will finish ahead in the sprint? I'll say... I'll try and get a little bit more points here. Say Ocon. How many different teams will score points from the sprint? I think it's probably just going to be 4. I can just see the top drivers locking it out. You know what? We'll go 5, just because maybe Williams will get a point. Who will take pole position? That's going to be Mr. Lando. Come up here. People want to see you. Come here. Come here, meow machine. What do you have to say for yourself? Nothing. He's starstruck. But here he is, Oscar the Cat. About as good at being loud as Oscar Piastri is at driving. Who will qualify highest for the Grand Prix? I'm going to put Antonelli. Hamilton's just not very impressive. How many classified finishers? I think there hasn't been that many or DNFs, so I'll say 3 this year. Will there be a safety car? Yes. Who will set the fastest lap of Sunday's race? It'll be the pole guy, which will be Lando Norris. And which team will record the fastest pit stop? That'll be Ferrari. Maybe I'll put the 2X chip on that. Be nice and boring. Who will score more points this weekend? Racing Bulls or Alpine? So that's really Piastri versus Lawson and Hadjar. I got to go with Racing Bulls, I think. Okay, back to home. So now you guys can all go against me. Joe Milazzo, what is up, sir? Let me get back to my actual fantasy team here. That was fun, though. Piastri, Alonso, Ocon, Hadjar, Behrman, McLaren, Mercedes, 3 transfers. Limitless Miami or set up for Imola? What if rain is still possible when we need to lock? It sounds like the rain is going to be minimal and like small, but it maybe wouldn't put me all the way off of it. But like if it does look like it's going to get heavier, I might just bank it for Imola, Joe. I don't mind it at all. I could see Verstappen not in my limitless team. RB should be struggling like in Bahrain. Track is not like Suzuka or Saudi Arabia. So maybe double Mercedes, double McLaren plus Leclerc. Whew, man, that scares me so much to not have Max Verstappen in my limitless team. Nice. So I don't think I could get there, but I understand what you're thinking. It would terrify me to not have Max in my limitless squad. Nixie says meow. Christoph says he's so cute. Ha ha ha. He is until it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's making that noise as well. You're trying to get some sleep. Zakacha says 60% chance of rain for Miami as of right now. Yeah. So right now I have. If I click this, like, where are we at? Sunday. Yeah, at 2 o'clock it says 35% chance. It doesn't really give you the... Oh, here we go. 7 hours ago. F1.com coming out. Saying chance of rain 40%. Partly cloudy, unsettled with a moderate chance of showers in the afternoon. Light easterly wind. Race start 29 degrees Celsius. So, yeah, we'll just keep an eye on it. I wouldn't worry too much about it as of right now, just because this stuff changes all the time. But yeah, Manafsi says T1 has triple Haas with Piastri, McLaren, and Hadjar. I need to swap out Gasly. Who should I go for? I have 15 million in the bank. So it would be Gasly plus 15 million. I mean, does that mean you can get to Russell? How much is Russell again? I always keep forgetting. 22.1 million? Yeah, just go with Russell. If it's raining, Max says goat race on it. Yep. Don't mind that at all either. What are we at? 42 likes. If you have not hit the thumbs up button yet, let's get to a nice round 50 for the stream, because it has been fun. I actually missed it. Like last Wednesday, I was like Ricky Bobby. I was like, I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know who to talk to. Like I think, what did I end up doing? Oh, I ended up hate watching Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. So thank you, Crystal Palace, for getting a draw and not scoring the winning goal so that the Reds could win the title in front of the home fans on Sunday, where admittedly, it got a little bit dusty in the living room when I was watching that Liverpool game. At the end, at the final whistle, I don't know what happened. I guess the window was open. Something blew right into my eye. There was a lot of precipitation coming out of one of the eyeballs. Let's see here. What else we got? Steiner says Piastri, Ocon, Hadjar, Behrman, Albon, McLaren, VCarb, or Piastri, Ocon, Hadjar, Behrman, Lawson, McLaren, Haas. I think I prefer the second squad there. Sammy says, thanks for the stream. Good night, y'all. Good night. What's a good position to be in terms of rank and budget? honestly, it is still so early, Nixie. Like, obviously, all of y'all that are in the top 50K, top 10K, you are absolutely crushing it, and you're in a great spot. So just keep doing what you're doing, and don't worry too much about it long term. I think, like this time last year, I was already in the top 30K, and I felt pretty good about it. And I was in the top 10K by like the middle of the year, but I had played Limitless, I had used no negative, like that kind of stuff. I hadn't used my wild card, but then I kind of just like stuck around in that era the entire rest of the season. So there's still plenty of time for growth. There's plenty of time to go down as well. So just keep doing it. Good process over and over and over and over again for the next 19 races. And that rank will continue to get smaller and smaller over the course of the season. As in terms of a budget, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit tight for me right now, and I'm at 108.2 million. So I don't know, maybe if you're in the 105, 106 range, like budget building should be a priority, because Miami is really going to be it's going to get real tight here over the next like 6 or 7 races before we get to Spa for another sprint race to kind of boost up our budget building ability. So you really got to use Miami and use it as a like kind of booster seat for Italy and Monaco to get on these budget rising assets and set yourself up. So I don't really know what the ideal kind of price point would be, but if I'm at 108.2 million right now, by the end of Monaco, I'd love to be at like 115 million, because that'd be what, like a 6-ish million rise over the next 3 races. I was talking to Rob on his channel, and I've averaged 2.5 million per race since Australia, where I lost budget. So if I keep on at that pace, I should be okay. Zakasha says, do you play any of the F1 games? I run 105 AI, no assist ATM. Well, I'll have you know, Zakacha, that I just loaded up F1 2022 the other day, and I suck at that. But I have a great time. But I genuinely suck. I sucked at those games as a kid. I used to get so frustrated. And then, like, when we got back into the sport, I was like, okay, like, I've played a couple of games and stuff, but F1 2022, I'm mostly just messing around on my career. I don't know. I'm just not that good at racing games, but I do have a great time. So, but that sounds awesome. Yamil says, joined your F1 Predict League. Thank you. Do you know if the top 3 world last year had major upsets, i.e. DSQ weekends, or do you need to have all races perfect to get there? Leapsfrog had a very good year, but he mostly focused on budget building over the first part of the season. I don't think they didn't have like a Monaco disaster or anything like that, but there was a good thread on it, and Fanamp did an interview with him at the end of last season that I would highly go recommend if you want to do like a season review, because he had pretty much locked up world number 1 by the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So I think he went on the Fantasy Formula on Fanamp and kind of talked about his season a little bit. So if you're really more interested in that, go check that out. Dino7890 says, new to fantasy team, because how do you increase your budget? Because I see people with like 110 million, but I only have 105 million. So you want to get on assets that are going to rise, and getting on assets that are going to rise with low points thresholds here. Dino7890. So Behrman, Hadjar, Lawson, Bortoletto, Alonso, Ocon are all good options this week. Piastri is the best A-tier option this week as well. I'd probably avoid most of these guys as well if you're trying to build budget. So fill up your squad with B-tier assets, and then one A-tier driver, preferably Piastri, to score you points. You can't go wrong with any of the A-tier assets, and then Haas, VCarb, Aston Martin are all likely to go up a max price rise this weekend. Is it a bad race to Limitless? I set up with Haas Constructor, but now considering Imola, no, it's a good race. It's fine. It's the big kind of bugaboo right now is that it's not the ideal like delta over the rest of the field, because Miami is a high overtake track, Back markers are likely to score quite a few points this weekend. If you play Limitless at a low overtake track, you are likely to have a bigger points delta with your top 5 drivers and your top 2 constructors compared to the rest of the field, who will be filled with back markers and all that sort of stuff. But if the back markers score more points, then the delta to your top team is going to be smaller. So you want that delta to be as big as possible. So that's where Monaco, Imola, Saudi Arabia, Japan all offered those kind of advantages. Let's see here. I skipped a couple of questions. Sorry. Zakacha said, follow-up question about that top 3. How hard did they focus on budget, and when did they transition from budget to points? I don't want to speak out of turn, but I believe it was like by Baku that Leapfrog was already running 3 premium drivers with Ferrari and McLaren for the rest of the season and just kind of cruised from there. I think he had Piastri, Lando, Leclerc, or Russell or something like that, and just kind of cruised to the finish line because it was fantastic. But I would highly recommend go check out that interview because he kind of broke it all down and it was really, really good. Justine Rodell says, currently have Piastri, Bortoleto, Alonso, Behrman, Hadjar, Mercedes, McLaren, 106 million. Probably going to Limitless this weekend. Going to rethink after sprint qualifying. Honestly, considering not making any transfers, I say Limitless for Imola. Thoughts? Well, if you do activate Limitless this weekend, you can't make any transfers anyway. So no worries there. But I mean, that team is pretty well set up for Limitless this weekend or the following weekend. Trying to think what you could do. Yeah, that's kind of nice. I think you can just kind of watch what happens in sprint qualifying and react to that, Justine. But that's a pretty good spot to have. Ewan, we got 15-minute target. We got this much process stats. Some luck got that. Yeah. I mean, if you mean 50 million in budget, then yeah, I think just keep building. Zakacha said F122 is among the worst when it comes to how they recommend F123. I may or not have roughly 500 hours in the game. Okay. Maybe I'll go check it out. Yeah, so I think, yeah, if it's on sale, I think it'd still be available on the PS4, which is what I have. Steiner says, final fix in Monaco to P1 in quali. I set myself up to do that last year. I brought in Leclerc, but I left enough money in the bank to do Leclerc to Verstappen, but I didn't have to. So then I just kind of had all this money kind of lying around. But it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, if you can get to Lando for Monaco, then you can just final fix in anyone and you don't have to worry about it too much. Reckless Medic says, I think Leapers held number 1 since Mexico last year. Okay, you can see his stats on F1 Fantasy Tools under Team Analyzer. Let's go check it out. Team Analyzer. Was it here last year? Oh, 2025. Whoa, this has my 2024 team on here. This is epic. Look at this. Wow. So here we go. I played Limitless in China. And I had 164 points, which is very, very nice. Global race rank 1. So, yeah. But, yeah, I don't remember where this ended up putting me in the world. Oh, this put me in the top 2K last year. So yeah, you see, you can drop. So that's great. Super happy that happened. But yeah, here's Leapers 1. So where did they end up? So they were able, so starting in Monza here, they were able to run 2 premium constructors and then 3 premium drivers, and then eventually in Baku, it was McLaren, Ferrari, Leclerc, Piastri, Russell, and the rest is pretty much history. So great job by them. But Zakacha, is a subscription for F1 Fantasy Tools worth it? I think so, Zakacha. And if you use promo code UN50, you can get 1 month for 50% off UN50. And if you activate it on Thursday or Friday, you'll get the next 4 races in that 1 month subscription for 50% off. So you get 4 races. You can try it out. If you're like, okay, this is not for me, then like it's 50% off. I think it's like bad cup of coffee. So if you want to try it out, go for it. Sankat says, would you play Limitless if you had Doohan and Alonso in your team? Ooh, I don't know about that. I actually am not sure, Zakacha, how much it is. I think it's maybe €6 a month. So I guess it would be €3 a month if you use the promo code. But yeah, if you go to F1 Fans Tools and sign up for their Patreon, that should be there as well. Sandcap says, would you play Limitless? Maybe not. That doesn't scream Limitless to me. But as we can see, guys, we've already done an hour. So 60 people watching, 49 likes. Y'all are really going to leave me on 49 likes? Not one of you can help me out here. Just a slight OCD tick of not getting to 50. The results for the Yuki's poll: would you be a reserve in 2026 to get a seat at AM in 2027? 49% yes, 51% no. So yeah, thank you for all the interaction. Thank you for the polls. I can't believe we're on 49 likes. That is slightly going to bug me, but I am going to get out of here because it is 9:30. I'm going to go watch 50 likes. You guys are the best. Thank you very much. And I will be back in 48 hours time to go over FP1, and then we're going to watch sprint quali together, and then we're going to break it all down for 15 minutes. Then I'm going to get like 4 hours of sleep and hop on a plane to the United States. So that will be fun. If you're watching this on replay, we are 82 subscribers away from the 3,000 mark. So hit the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hopefully everyone had a good time. I will post this as a podcast and as like a standalone episode, either early tomorrow or later tonight. But yeah, hopefully everyone had a good time. I will see you in 48 hours. Good luck with your planning. And once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I will talk to you next time.